All right, what is going on? I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
This is the long-awaited return to the PMMetalGuide podcast.
Woo! That's wicked fun, isn't it, huh? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
A busy summer for all parties involved.
Yeah.
Viewers, collaborators, alike.
Oh my god. Well, it's funny because you'd think like, oh, in the summer, especially if you're in college, like, oh, that's when you can record stuff, get stuff done.
Haha. Yes,
like,
of course.
50-hour
Totally.
work weeks. What?
Yeah. No, we were extremely busy finding mere brinks of light to do music stuff. We had our one episode that we felt absolutely needed to happen, as it was very important to us that one episode about good old Fear Factory got out there. But
yeah, Jesus Christ.
But otherwise, yes, we were very busy. Little time for music, but no problem, as we are back into the swing of things. And there will be many more PM Metal Guide podcasts and PM Metal Guide reviews coming in the near future. Yeah, you heard that here first, folks.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's funny because when the school year, we're able to have a much more consistent schedule, get these out weekly for all of our 5 dedicated listeners.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe we'll blow up this year, Sam.
Yeah, I never know. Actually, AMG literally have a writer's call right now, so we could both become noobs if we wanted to.
That is true. We would have to leave would have to leave this blog behind, though.
Well, we just
I
wouldn't.
did.
Yeah,
I did read into the thing. But anyway,
anywho, I don't know, we got a lot of albums to talk about. We got
there's so much music to talk about that came out in the last.
Yeah, we also got a concert review because we both saw BT Bam. It was
we
good.
Did. The Between the Buried and Me came in late August and
early August.
Early August.
It was like August 12th.
Oh, all right, yeah, early August, and they gave us a pretty darn good show, so we'll talk about that.
All right, what do you want to talk about first? Where do we get out of the way?
Oh, God, I don't even know. I mean, there's so much. It could literally start from anywhere.
All right, so
I guess
for those who don't know, Anthony Fantano gave another 10.
What? Oh, that's true. That's big news.
And the 10 is to Lingua Ignota's third full-length album out on Sargent House in mid-August. And record's called Sinner Got Ready. It seems to have fooled the entirety of the music internet into thinking that it is like the best album ever.
Yes, it has.
I have the hard contrarian take here. The album is like fine. It's good for what it is. It's utterly forgettable though, and I just do not understand why so many people are going bananas over it.
I think you put it the best. It is really the normie's intro to experimental music. Because, like, I don't know, when you kind of look at it, like, if you take a record like All Bitches Die and take one of the, random-ass KG Hino records from the 90s, they're doing kind of the same thing, but, like, Lingua just has an education and good production and the image to make noobs squeal. I don't know, like...
And well, the thing is, like, so Caligula, for the most part, it's a pretty heavy record.
It's
all derivatives. So. I think it's still a little boring, but it's pretty heavy. This record is literally like neoclassical dark wave. And there's like one song where a girl Christian screams. The rest of it is just very boring, like folk music with like a sort of like Appalachian sheen. And Jesus, like this just does nothing to me. Like, I literally listen to Merzbow, I'll listen to dark ambient bands, I'll listen to folk bands, I'll listen to noise bands. I love that shit. I like the songwriting. We had a combo at some point over the summer where you said this is an experience record, and if you close your eyes, crank your music, smoke weed or whatever, and throw it on, it's gonna be a good time, right? But you have to sort of enjoy it at the fullest. And I guess I understand that. But a lot of other records like that, like let's say Death Consciousness or To Be Kind or Spiderland or fuck, even, you get what you want. I don't know why I named 2 Fantano 10s, but
I don't know.
If you take those albums, right? If you take those albums, they're enjoyable all the way through, when you're fully focused on them, when you're in your little corner and crying about the void and nihilism, like they're great works. But you can also listen to them outside of that context, and they have bangers. They're well produced, they're well written, they're really engaging, and they give more the more you listen to them. I've listened to this Lingo record 5 times. Every single time I listen to it, I fall asleep by the 4th track. I really feel like it's fine. Like, for what it is, it's definitely well done. It sounds great. Great production, great performances, but Jesus heckin' Christ, these songs are so boring and they go nowhere. It reminds me more than anything else of like This Will Destroy You or Explosions in the Sky. They're lesser stuff, because those bands are great, right? But they write climax focused music. But when they're not doing that, it just kind of feels like background music and feels a little sleepy. And that's what this entire record feels like to me.
I can agree with the fact that this makes good background music. It does. It's, I do really think it does a nice job culminating the vibe that it sets out to create, and I think that it does execute on its promises. But its promises, I don't know, like, they don't certainly fit our aesthetic to the utmost degree, and, like, I don't know, I just feel like this record is only interesting to me because I like Lingua. And I don't understand how the wider music world... Well, no, I do understand. It's because it's a lighter record. But I guess what I'm trying to say, I like this record. I do. But I also completely understand the criticisms that you're putting forward. Especially on the fact that it is rather repetitive. And it is rather kind of just... It just kind of goes. The tracks don't really build to anything. And they don't really flow perfectly either. They're kind of jagged. I think there's a couple of tracks that I really like among the Lingua discography, but that's it. I can certainly say better about All Bitches Die and Caligula both to a way higher degree. I can quote so many things from probably both of those records, and I can quote like substantially less from this one. I will say there's still a bunch of the Lingua quotables here. They're
but no, I mean, well, the thing is, right? It's a fine record. It's like a 6, right? It's like a strong 5.
It's a good record. I would even for its conceptual pieces, I would even be willing to bump it up to like a 7, maybe a light 8, but I wouldn't go higher.
Well, then that's the thing, like, and that you're also inclined to like this sort of thing. I just understand
exactly.
That everyone from every corner of the music internet sees this, their pants fall off and they explode. And, like, even Fantano, like, I understand this is right up his alley. I understand he liked Caligula, and if you like Caligula, this is a nice expansion of that. But Jesus heckin' Christ, it's just so nothing. It just goes so nowhere. And I I worked for a radio station this whole summer, and we got sent, 300, 400 records every single week. And I don't understand why this, of everything, gets above everything. It has to be like a combination of, like, reverse sexism, right? Like, the image, the right backing.
I think there definitely has. That is certainly something to it. I mean, I would say Kristen Hayter is, I guess... She's got very good marketing. She knows who to work with and who to talk to.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, look, it's awesome that noise and experimental music has a female figurehead, because for the longest time, this is the neckbeard genre. This is the Dominic Farreau. This is the Nico Aspa, where you're right. You're either a Nazi or like a trans person, and I know that those are. That's kind of a bold comparison, but like those are completely opposite spectrums and very accurate to the genre. Yeah, if you make noise, you're either like the farthest left anarcho-commie you could ever be, or you're a neo-Nazi, and there's no in between.
No,
but it just, I mean, and don't get me wrong, Christian, I think she's a phenomenally talented person, great songwriter, great vocalist.
She's a great vocalist, and frankly, this is music I've never heard before. It is, like, at least to some extent. The folk aspects are very engaging and haunting, but they do grow old when they don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
it just sticks with, like, that classic, like, boom, boom. and like the weird percussion and synth stuff going on in the background. It's
like,
very cool.
If you listen to even like her earlier discography, like all Bitches Must Die, like the 17-minute opener, like the song has movements, it builds really nicely. And you listen to this, and you listen to like Pennsylvania Furnace, which people seem to like the most. Of
no,
this record.
dude, I can't see. I agree. That's like the worst track on the record. It really doesn't go anywhere.
It just makes me want to fall asleep. Like this makes me this music to me sounds like music one of my close friends plays in the car and makes me want to commit suicide because it's just so goddamn boring. It goes nowhere. The melodies go nowhere. I don't know. Look, I could harp on this for a long time. I think this album's fine. I just don't understand why so many people like it. Even this year, there are so many better, like experimental or like pretty, like artsy, like also heavy records that fill a similar niche and actually have good songs.
Woo!
Yeah, all right. So I don't know. I'm just looking. There's a lot of shit to talk about. I guess we're just gonna go down the Fantana route. So probably like my two favorite records of the year right now are Colors 2 and Infinite Granite. And Fantana was like, "Yo, dude."
That okay. Look, I understand some of the criticisms for both of the records. I do. But I also don't understand how either of those records even come close to being an unenjoyable experience. Because if you look at the Fantano track list, he said that his score is rated on his enjoyment. And I'm sorry, every time I throw on this Def Heaven album, I have a fucking ball. And every time I throw on this VTVAM album, I have a ball. It is a long ball, and occasionally a little too long ball. But still a fucking great time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really just think, like, Fantano just doesn't like certain genres. He gave Slow Dives self-titled a 5. He gave Parallax 2 a 4, which I get more. But, like, I don't know. Anywho, I guess we'll start with Def Heaven, which is really, really, really dang good. I don't understand like sort of the widespread hate. Like if you look at all the metal guys that reviewed this, even they liked it. Like one of the Black Market guys reviewed it for Starry Gum, and they were like, "Yeah, this record's fucking incredible." One of the Invisible Oranges guys did it. One of the No Clean Sings guys did it. Like if you same with Heavy Blog is Heavy. Like the way Def Heaven are able to adapt their like songwriting strategies into like a much more traditional shoegaze realm just works really, really well. Like you can tell these guys have listened to, Souvlaki 9 million times. You can tell they've listened to the Best of Die, Best of Low.
No, seriously. And like they really pay attention to the way shoegaze builds upon itself as a genre and the layers that can just really make the genre powerful in its climaxes.
No, seriously. And like this thing to me is immaculately produced. Like and like made. Like even from the intro, Shellstar's gorgeous, Imbler's awesome, great, like massive color. Every single song in this record, there's the interlude track, which I know Adam will be like, grr, but I think it's
no. I even think the interlude on this record is well placed.
Yeah, like every track here is incredible. It's an amazing shoegaze track, and the thing flows immaculately, like from start to finish. You have even like Mombasa, right? The first half of it's like a ballad, and then they just let it fucking rip, and the whole album ends with like a climax, and it's gorgeous. It's really well thought out. It's like album centered songwriting, and the individual tunes work really well. The riffs here are great. The chord progressions here are great. The vocal melodies, even if George Clark isn't the most, varied vocalist.
No, but even with it though, he still sounds great, and it's not the first time he's sung on record. Like this, it shouldn't be surprised that he can sing. And while he's not a fucking pop star, but I don't know, he's certainly got more than a lot of the metal vocalists out there.
Yeah, no, and I mean, even if you don't like his chops, like he manages to convey like this just consistent like melancholy, and the lyrics are great. And this thing sounds immaculate. Like I just don't understand the hate. Like I listen to so much mediocre indie, and this is incredibly made indie from a fucking black metal band.
No, I really don't understand the hate either. I think it's misplaced. I do, because even still I can go back to those tracks even after I grinded that album to death. like all those songs are still on like my playlist for like, oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to a couple of singles. Bam, these ones are gonna be in there. They're really, fucking bangers. Really, they're rippers.
Yeah, and the soft loud dynamics performed really well. You can tell, like I said, these guys have listened to the greats and they're doing the greats well. And on like, it doesn't help that it's super modern. There's so many textures, so many gorgeous layers, a lot of like melodic layering too. And the thing, as an album, above all else, flows perfectly.
No, it has
not a dull moment. There's just enough breaks. There's just enough peaks and valleys. George Clark screams like 3 times on this record. Every time it's justified. It feels, cathartic. And at the very end, when they just go full Sunbather, it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, this record's up there for me. It's like a 9. Like, it's pretty perfect.
Well, I don't know about a 9. It is rather one note, and I will.
It's a shoegaze record.
I know it's a shoegaze. I know.
Have you ever listened to Loveless?
No, I know. I guess with that context, it is definitely not a 4 or a 3 by any means. What the heck? It is at the very least a 7. And even if you don't like shoegaze, I think you can respect
the songcraft here is just
amazing. The songcraft.
I know. I'm looking forward to seeing Deaf Heaven live, and then like playing this for like the indie audience, and then like whipping out From the Kettle Unto the
Yeah.
And like just
it will be a very interesting live setting.
But yeah, I don't know. Deaf Heaven, great. It's gonna be there. Like, mark my words, top 10 material.
Yeah. Speaking of Colors, too, the same position here.
Yeah, look. Me and Adam have listened to BT Bam for too long, right? If I look at all the artists I've listened to, BT Bam's up there, like top 3 most listened to, right? I have strong opinions on every song of theirs, right? A lot of fans, even of BT Bam, they think their 2010 period's the best. They think Parallax 2 is the best thing they've ever done, followed by like Colors and The Great Misdirect, right? I don't hold that view. I think the last great record BT Bam released was The Great Misdirect. Parallax 2 has some awesome songs, but is flawed. Coma Ecliptic is actually quite good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the same like oomph that their peak does. Automata 1 and 2, I honestly, we had this convo, me and Adam, because it is noticeably worse than all of their previous work in the same vein, but we can't tell you why. It just feels like it's lacking something, right? And Colors 2 for me just delivers on all of the fronts that these other records held. Like, I remember when I first heard it, I zoned out a little because I was incredibly tired, and I just kind of heard like the frog turnaround tropes. But now that I've really sat with it, now that I've familiarized yourself, I think this thing's incredible. It's probably my record of the year. Like, for me, this is BT Bam like combining the best of their newer sound, the more melodic approach on like Coma, with like the progressive metalcore, and even like some older sounds, and it's just handled really, really well. Jamie King's production, arguably the best metal on any metal album I've heard this year. Like, this is how a prog record should sound. It's not too compressed. Everything is perfectly placed in the mix. The bass is really warm. The guitars are very jagged. Tommy's vocals sound awesome, and all the other forays into different genres come across really nicely. The thing flows immaculately from the intro to the outro. Every song has like a really good start and ending, and it feels like one song, like Colors. And even a lot of these shorter songs like flow gorgeously into each other. Like, you have the Stare into Abyss prehistory, you have the Bad Habits into Futures Behind Us, Turbulent Sumato, Double Helix into Revolution and Limbo. It's just all like really, really well done. And on top of that, like, all the songs have these great moments. They have the memorable BT Bam riffs, they have the riffs solos, they have the really cool like forays into other genres that are handled very well. Tommy's vocals here sound better than they have in a long time. They have some sick breakdown parts, like between the buried and me, when they call it the name. It's great, and they're just enough like tasteful callbacks, like the open the closed off circle, right? There's a ton of them on here. I mean, look, this is just BT Bam's return to form. Yeah, this is them
After a 10-year stint of venturing into a different space, a prog metal space, they've returned back to the progressive metalcore that I think is at their core, is at their heart, and is at their strength. And I mean, you gotta respect that, at least to some degree. I mean, it's not like they've become worse musicians over the last 10 years. They're better now than they were before. And they're able to handle a lot of this stuff a lot better than they did on previous records. I mean, if you take the polka breakdown on Colors, I mean, iconic, certainly. But I already remember some of these new breakdowns. They're already stuck in my brain. It's just, I mean, this is just a great BT-Bam album through and through.
No, seriously, it's the band firing on all cylinders and doing what they do best. And, like, the thing is, what a lot of fans don't remember is that when you listen to Colors for the first even 10 times or so, those songs are dense and they're not structured well at all. Like, the band themselves, the way they were writing those songs is they would just go riff, 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 melodic idea, riff, 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 melodic idea. And it works a lot of the time, but I mean, I feel like people don't remember that when you're listening to a song like Son of Nothing or a song like even Prequel to the Sequel, that a lot of these songs don't really have good melodic cores, you know?
It's just riff, 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 thump, 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 scrum.
Yeah, and that's a critique a lot of older metalheads have, is that they didn't write songs, and I agree. I think that's a fair critique. I still love it, but that's a critique. And on this record, it feels like they're combining the best of both worlds, you know? They can riff solo for years, but they can also have cool, memorable parts and great hooks, great clean parts, great breakdowns, you know? I don't think there's a single clean part on this record that doesn't hit for me. At first, I was like, oh man, some of these are a little slower paced, right? Because you don't really want faster choruses in a longer record, but I think the fact is that, like, not a lot of these songs actually have choruses. You know, a lot of these are repeated once and then augmented with climaxes, which are really well placed, augmented with those, you know, the signature BT-Bam forays into other things like the prehistory breakdown or like the folk part in Never Seen.
And not to mention the true, not the trueness, the, I guess, ability that the band holds to keep the energy and the spirit both in theme and in concept for Colors is pretty impressive. I mean, they bring back the record in very appropriate ways where it doesn't feel like it's too much, but it's also like, oh, okay, this is Colors too after all. They should probably go back and touch upon the older stuff at some point. And they do, and that even sounds great. It's still fresh. It's awesome when you hear it. You're like, holy shit, here it is. I
don't know. No, and I totally agree. Like, you know, not many bands can make an hour and 20-minute long record and have the entire thing be consistently interesting, consistently engaging, and topping itself. And, you know, they've done that. Like, this is probably BT-Bam's best record in about 12 years. And that's an achievement. And look, I understand if you don't like prog and you don't like prog tropes, you will despise this record. Like, it's an hour and 20 minutes of prog tropes, okay? But if you like any of them at all, you'll love it. Like, hell, this is you know, a perfect combination of, like, let's say Converge and Dream Theater or King Crimson and Cave In, right? You know, it's really the culmination of a lot of gorgeous influences, and it carries out like that prog metal like dynasty that, you know, you and me are very familiar with and know and love in a very nice way. Like, I'll go bananas seeing this song live or seeing this stuff live. When we saw Fix the Hour live, it was awesome. And, you know, this is a record of consistent highs, and as a whole, it's really good. Like, I don't know. I'll go to battle for this because like a lot of BT-Bam fans just do not realize that, like, some of those songs are duds. Like, have you ever met a dude that likes the song "Melting City" on Parallax 2?
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, or same with Automata, like Yellow Eyes, House Organ. Those songs are duds. The Grid, kind of a slow one. Like. Even Great Misdirect, my favorite record of theirs. Desert of Song, it's kind of boring. And False Legionnaire and Swim to the Moon aren't really well written compared to Disease, Injury, Madness, and Obfuscation, right? Yeah. But when you get a record like this, you know, it's really well considered, it's really well performed, it's really well composed, and it's just well done. Like, if you like modern prog, this should be up there for albums of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think you said it pretty darn well. This record is for a particular audience, but in its execution, it's pretty darn
there. Like, you know, how do you... It achieves all the goals. I understand why Fantano hated it, because Fantano likes 3 prog albums, and they're all from the 60s. You know, and Fantano doesn't even like Blackwater Park. I love the guy. I'll still keep on watching him, but it's something to be said when he has a strong distaste for a few genres. Some of it, like for post-hardcore, is deserved, but I don't know.
Some of it.
Yeah, this record's great. While we're talking about them, how about that live show, dude?
Hey, it was pretty freaking good. 2 sets, pretty nuts. I think that's one of the longer shows we went to for one band, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I mean they literally played for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. They did a wonderful little greatest hits set. They touched on everything in their discography for the most part. And then of course the wonderful Great Misdirect in full live.
Yeah,
it's a big event, the main event.
I mean, we've seen this was our 5th time seeing BTBAM, something like that. I don't know.
I think it might be 4.
We've seen the band a few times, right? This was the most fun I've had seeing them. Like, the way that you could just tell everyone in the place. We were in the Palladium, by the way, in Worcester, was just amped to be there. It was totally packed. People were moshing the entire time, from start to finish. And there were points like during the breakdown for White Walls, during the breakdown for Swim to the Moon, during the intro to Fix the Arrow, where the entire floor was just a circle pit.
Yeah, kind of insane.
Yeah, and you could just feel like a palpable energy. The band's always on point. I don't think I've ever seen anyone in that band miss a note live. They sounded awesome. Oh. They nailed the hits, and it was just such a goddamn awesome time. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun. I would love to see them again. I will see them again when they come around, probably they'll probably do a Colors 2 fucking full tour, I bet.
I mean, they're BTBAM, right?
Yeah, so they might as well. Yeah, it was super incredible. Great show, great set for the show, might I add. It was cool
seriously, I've only been fans of them for about 6 years, if that says anything. And like even seeing songs like Backwards Marathon, like More Myself to Kill, Mordecai, bangers, From the reciting of the show, from the blip and the Chev. Yeah, I don't know, it was really good. And I had so much. The Great Misdirect. I had no idea so many people liked those songs, because whenever you look at any publication or any like fan back like opinions, it's like, oh well, that's the album After Colors. I've always liked it more, but oh my god, those songs just delivered live.
Yeah, I think they're just full of awesome moments that you can really get into and build up to throughout it.
Yeah, seriously, like I had no idea the entire crowd would sing along to like the clean parts for like Mirrors or Obfuscation or DIM or even like Fossil Genaire, and it was just so awesome and so consistently enjoyable. Like,
yeah, I mean, all of those tracks hold up as well as they do live, as they do on record. But even going in and after listening to their fucking greatness for 80 billion times in preparation for the show, I still was like, oh my god, this thing is so awesome.
It was so cool. Like, holy shit. We are all part of the Great Misdirect. Yeah. The Horse Winnie and Disease Injury Madness. We must move on. Desert of Song was sick. And like, I swear, seeing the final chorus to Swim to the Moon live was a religious experience.
Yeah.
Like, also, Juan, merch guy, killed it on the crossover vocals.
He did. He really did.
Me and Adam were both with our partners, so we didn't go in the pit, but
true.
God damn it, I wanted to.
It would have been pretty freaking legendary.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably one of the, granted, I say this with every great show I go to, but one of the best shows I've ever been to. It's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, live musicians, especially in the metal community, definitely show up.
100%.
That's where they thrive. So, yeah.
Would recommend BTBAM live.
Yeah, would recommend BTBAM live. We will certainly be at the next one in our area, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, and BTBAM, one of those bands that tour 24/7 every year, so I'm sure it won't be very long.
we question still how they find time to make 80-minute albums, but we won't focus on that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, now that we have the Fantano bait out of the way, what else?
I want to talk about the Lord album briefly.
Yeah, I guess we talked about the Lord album.
So our take on the Lord album isn't new or original, surprisingly enough.
But it was first. If you follow Sam on Twitter, you got that on the nose.
On the nose, hours within of it coming out. But yeah, I don't know. Look, the thing that makes Lorde so interesting is her ability to convey like really powerful emotions within like a pop context, right? Like listen to a song like Green Light, one of her better ones, one of the single for Melodrama. Like, you know, it's about sort of like that wistful feeling when you leave a party, right? And it's gorgeously orchestrated, really wonderfully performed, lyrics slap, and it climaxes, right? It's very powerful. You know, Pure Heroine, it's all about the feeling of like, you know, you being the sickest kid ever because you're 16 and, you know, you're the king of the world. Yeah. Melodrama is about like, you know, sort of the sadness of growing up. And then this album is about being like a billionaire from New Zealand who doesn't use Instagram because haha.
Dude, it's just so vapid. There's no feeling. There's no energy. There's nothing.
This record is one of the most boring records I've heard in my life. Like, it is 40 minutes of nothing.
Yeah. There's percussion on half the tracks. Like, I don't know, man. It's just so really boring. There's nothing. There's nothing in it.
Well, I remember when we first heard Solar Power, we were like, this is the worst Lorde song ever. And then Starting with the Nail song came out, and we were like, this is even worse. And then the record drops, and it's like, Jesus Christ. They're all like that.
Yeah, they're all...
It's just bizarre, because, like, Lorde defined what we know of as now as pop. Like, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, even fucking Doja Cat would not exist right now without Lorde. Like, you know, her approach that, like, wise for her age, like, the really clever production, the really soulful, like, lyrics.
It's dark, it's intense, especially for pop and R&B, and yeah, no, man. It's just, it was thrown to the wind.
It just feels so tone deaf too, because like, you know, the world's worse than it ever was before. Everyone's fucking...
Yeah, you had a year to write an album about, you know, everything going on, to be socially conscious of anything. I mean, I guess she is in New Zealand. They only have one COVID. But like, come on.
Yeah, it just feels really tone deaf. It feels really like poorly executed, because I'm fine with a breezy Lorde album if it's well done, but this is not well done.
No.
I can't remember a single note off this record.
No.
And it's nuts because, like, she's widely regarded as the greatest, like, modern pop artist before this.
Yeah. Fuck Solar Power.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Speaking of good modern pop albums, dude, Aphelion kind of slap.
Dude, I'd say Aphelion kind of slaps. When Sam said kind of boring on his first initial reaction to Aphelion, I wasn't surprised, because that was the same reaction.
But then you hear Midnight Desires and you're like,
dude, this last track on this record, insane. It's Leprous. This is the same bullshit that we said about BTDM, except it applies to Leprous. Mm-hmm. This is just the best thing they've made in the probably... Well, it's kind of tricky with this one. It kind of sits in a weird place. I think it's a little bit better than Pitfalls in some aspects, but I also think it's better than Melina in some aspects. But I also think both of those records do things better than this one.
No, I agree. Well, I think this record, I just kind of realized what Leprous were about now. Because the thing about Pitfalls, it's actually a pretty good record. The thing flows gorgeously, has really good highlights. Like, you know, Sky's Red's probably the best. Like, it's up there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there are some utter bangers, right?
No,
but as a whole, it just feels like it's missing something. You can read my review on this, by the way. But this record is very similar in a lot of ways, but it just feels a little bit more fleshed out. It feels a little bit more present, a little bit more of the moment. Yeah. It plays to the band's strengths a little bit more, and does it to great effect.
Well, they really, really played it safe on Pitfalls. They didn't know... I mean, this is speculation, obviously. But, like, when you completely switch your sound... Well, yeah, I can't even say that. Because Melina is, like, the most low-key fucking album in existence. So, I don't know. They've been experimenting with art rock for a little while. And this is absolutely the record where it comes into its own.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
You know, like, it's never better done here than on here. I will say that I think Melina does the, like, ambient droney, whatever the hell you want to call that kind of prog metal. I really don't know how to describe it.
I mean, Mirage is kind of heavy.
There's heavy parts on that album, but like the production is so ethereal and surreal. It's really something else. But in the art rock era of Leprous, this is just another great edition.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, what gets me about this is just how good all the vocal lines are. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we've known Einar's like the GOAT for a long time. Like, the dude's an incredible singer, and he's also a good screamer. But like, before, he's always just kind of felt restrained, especially on a lot of like the Stop the Train, which I really like that song.
Yeah.
But even on like Out of Here, you know, it's really slow for most of it. Gorgeous. All the Moments is gorgeous. Like, every song here is just really, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, every time during all of these tracks, I'm like, oh, whoa, this song really, like, it just really fits. These vocals have built such a nice thing. There's multiple layers, and the guitars are building up. Bard is absolutely fucking ripping on the drums the entire time. You know, like, I don't know, man. It's just more good Leprous. They never miss. They don't miss.
No, I agree. And I think, like, what's good about this record, and what is kind of missing on the past couple, is how it's very consistent. You know, Melina has a really good A-side, and then, like, by the time you hit Thorns, I'm always asleep. Pitfalls is actually is more consistent than Melina, but it's very low-key. There are very few moments of high intensity. Mm-hmm. This record strikes the balance perfectly and flows perfectly.
I'd say and honestly, some of the beat cuts here, like you were saying, they're really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, some of them, like you mentioned, Out of Here, I fucking love All the Moments. It keeps coming on my shuffle, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm not gonna skip this. Like, I'll end an album, and I'm like, oh, it's All the Moments, and now I can't skip this fucking song because it's so goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, they have moved on. They're not a prog metal band anymore. They have the basis of it and the sound of it. They're not a prog metal band anymore. And that's okay. Because...
Yeah. I mean, what they do now is very well done. If I had a critique of this record, I think the vocal pattern on Have You Ever is kind of dumb.
I agree.
That's about it.
Well, it's just a little bit. It's just a little okay.
It's a Norwegian band doing English vocals. It's gonna happen sometime, you know.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Holy dude, Midnight Desires, what the heck?
In A Nighttime Disguise, like, I don't want to say I like this song more than The Skies. I won't say it's one of my favorite Leper songs because it's still a little early. I could grow old of it, but I will say. And I'm going to check the number right now. But currently, on my last FM, Nighttime Disguise has a very strong of the last... When did this come out?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. It has 20 Scrabbles, as The Silent Revelation has now. Okay? So, like, take with that what you will.
Yeah, and
this song is just such a fucking...
This is the song they crowd wrote.
That totally makes sense. Because it has everything from the good prog metal, it has everything from the good art rock.
It's just like the most Leprous song ever.
It is. And, yeah, man, it's fucking amazing. Einar's vocal performance is absolutely out of the fucking park. Bard is he's doing his fucking thing, just absolutely tearing up the groove.
Raphael Weinroth Brown really kills on this record too.
Yes, the cello is in
it feels really well incorporated.
Yeah, it is. It never sticks out kind of like it does on Pitfalls.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember I was driving to like the grocery store with my my partner, and. Like I heard the second chorus where he really goes for it, and I was like,
"Yeah,
whoa, the song's awesome!"
Yeah, like holy time.
And then it goes into the screaming section. I literally stopped the car. I was like, "Are you screaming again?"
Yeah, no, I mean it's so intense. It's such an epic way to finish the record. It's just
No, I just want another record of the
No, seriously.
It's like
I'm like, I don't even want to listen to Aphelion anymore because I have this song and this
like
9
the last
minute
two Lepers records both ended with like prog metal bangers, which are some of the best in their discography. Where's that energy? Come on.
No, yeah, I don't know. I guess it does show the band's versatility, and hopefully it's just gonna get incorporated into the live sound. They're gonna do all the live stuff that they have for. As long as they'll probably go back only to the congregation, maybe a couple cold tracks. That's fine. We'll take it.
I've seen Acquired Taste.
Bilateral. Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The end of our life is. Yeah, good song.
Track. Yeah.
Dude, do you know what's funny? On RYM, Tall Poppy Syndrome has the highest score.
Dude, that's because it's all boomers and freaking old heads on your music, dude. Except it's funny because, Lil Sims has the #1 album of the year right now. Oh, she did. She has been ounced. She's been trounced. She was for a brief time. She eclipsed the Lingua and good old, everyone's favorite,
oh my god, that's funny.
Everyone's favorite black metal album.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tall Poppy Syndrome is tied with The Congregation.
Really?
And then
for their best,
Bilateral beats it by 0.02.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't know. I mean, that run of albums is obviously great. I mean, they're all fucking great. It's clear that RYM just hates art rock. Or hates it enough to where they're willing to drop down that rating by 0.2.
I don't know. I'd probably say that Bilateral, Call, and The Congregation are still better than these three runs. But Aphelion's
probably. Good. Yeah.
Aphelion's quite good. I think it's definitely their best non-metal record.
Yeah.
Speaking of best non-metal records, dude.
I
don't know. Everyone's losing their shit over Turnstile.
Dude, I'm sorry. I can't.
Really?
There's a couple tracks, but no. I hate the stuff that's not just pure hardcore. It is not for me.
Dude.
Maybe I have only given it
progression.
I have only given it 2 listens. But I'm not sold.
I don't know. I mean, I will say I'm a little surprised that this is the breakout hardcore album of the year.
Right.
It makes sense. It's really good. I'd say it's a strong 8. Every track here hits. The bangers are bangers.
Yeah.
No, it's a holiday. But
I don't know. I got a couple tracks I like.
If they were touring without, actually, I'd see that rap tour with Chief Keef and Suicide Boys. That'd be sick. But the show's sold out.
Right.
Which is funny, but I mean, I'll see Turnstile live every time they come. They seem awesome. This record's great. It flows really nicely.
It is very breezy. It is nice to get through, and the Blood Orange feature is cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the fact that they're able to nail all these different styles and
that too
fairly consistent's great, and all the when you go from Underwater Boy into Holiday, and you're like, oh shit, and you start circle pitting in your living room. I don't know, it's great. I really enjoy it. I will say I have a bunch of normie individuals yo, Sam, you heard this new Turnstile record?
Oh,
so,
dude, did I tell you I got my first? Have you ever heard of Idols? I got my first. Dude, have you heard of this band called Idols?
Have I heard of Idols? No. I remember when I was 15.
Look, I know that people aren't as in depth as we are, but I did find it quite enjoyable to absolutely normie destroy. But I mean,
I'd be oh yeah, dude, I love their 2010 demo.
No, I was I saw them last year. And he was what? You saw that? Or 2 years ago? And he was I was they were great.
Dude, it's not even funny how huge Idols are.
Yeah, I know,
the way they went from relatively big indie band, if you were in, you knew them and they were cool, to world conquering modern punk is insane.
Yeah, no, it was not a very gradual progression.
It was literally all right, Joy's an Act of Resistance comes out, they do a Kexit performance, And the next thing you know. Well, actually, I don't know. We saw them at the Royale, and they just sold out the
No,
House of Blues.
Yeah, I mean, the Royale, they sold out the Royale show too. But, like, they are still a big band. They're an international band. You know, they've toured a bunch.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it is insane. Do you think they'll get nominated for a Grammy?
Dude, that'd be wild.
It would be wild, wouldn't it? And it'd be for fucking Ultra Mono of all goddamn things.
And it's funny because that record really did come out like last year.
Yeah.
Grammys suck.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
Who won Best Metal Grammy this year? Weren't we pissed?
It was not Poppy, so yeah, we were.
No, it was like a bad choice, wasn't it?
It was a bad choice. 2021. I forget. See, so forgettable. Oh yeah, it was the fucking Body Count album.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
You can't win. We can't win.
No. Yeah. But anyway, there's plenty more better music that came out this year. Should we stay in the pop realm before we go to the deep, dark depths of the internet?
Yeah, dude.
Keep our listeners engaged.
All right. It's like a 4 to 5.
I think Donda is a strong 6. I think it is, aside from Kids See Ghost, my favorite Kanye project of his recent years.
Of his recent years, that's fair.
Obviously, Kids See Ghost is, at least to me, probably my favorite Kanye project. I love that little baby album. It's a nice 25 minutes of just creative greatness. But
I think Kids See Ghost is a bit overrated.
I think it's a little overrated too. I don't think it's a 10, but it's pretty darn good. Regardless, though, as someone who is currently writing a news piece on Donda that will likely be on the website at some point, who knows? We'll see. I think Donda excels in a couple of things. I think Donda has some of Kanye's best modern tracks, obviously his best production, but it also has just so much fucking music that just doesn't need to be there. Yeah. And, like, you have to realize and you have to understand, Jay-Z was in the studio the night of the listening party. Hours before it was played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 3. Right. So, like, this is the definition of throwing it together.
Yeah, and, like, I think the concept and, like, the whole, like, mess behind this record just pisses me off more than anything else. Like, regardless, look, Kanye for a long time was, like, a lovable idiot, and then he crossed the line into being, like, a malicious asshole pretty harshly. And just the fact that he can, you know, clearly, like, be failing as hard as a person can fail on the biggest stage and, like, barely throw together, like, an album after getting it forcibly released by Sony after promising it would get released for, like, 2 months.
No, not even, dude. Donda was supposed to come out last year.
It
was supposed to come out in 2020.
It's just well, it's dude. Where's Yandi? I don't know. It's just like ludicrous because, like, I feel like I don't know why we let this slide for Kanye, and I don't know why he has such a voracious fan base. Because, you know, I remember when this album first got, like, the first listening party.
Yeah,
I heard it. I was with one of my friends who, like, basically everyone liked Kanye. He was like, "Oh, let's listen to the listening party," and I was like, "This is one of the worst things I've ever heard." Because that first one, those tracks were so unfinished, so unfinished. Like, and then I was like, "Okay, there's no way Kanye is really as good as all these people think he is." And so I listened to his entire discography. Granted, I've heard all these songs for the past 15 years of my life, and I just, like, I think Kanye's first 3 albums are probably his best work, and everything after that runs the gamut of, like, utterly unlistenable, like Jesus is King. It's pretty good, but heavily flawed, like Yeezus or Life of Pablo.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's not like this is new. The exact same thing happened for Life of Pablo. The only thing with Donda now is that he's got the world to blame. Because he's got COVID, he's got all the election stuff, he's got all the TMZ stuff, he's got all the Twitter rants. So he's channeling all of this worldwide hate into, you know, a record about his mother and solidifying his Christian faith.
Well, it's funny because, like, Kanye's, like, interpretation of Christianity is, like, the most shallow thing ever. It's literally just he's sick and he doesn't swear. And that's what Christianity is to him.
Yeah.
And look, you can engage with it, whatever, but I don't know, man. Like I said, for a long time, Kanye was a lovable asshole, and then he became a malicious asshole. And it just blows my mind when I go on Reddit and you'll see like a post with like 400K upvotes where it's like, Donda's the best album of all time.
Yeah, no. I certainly can't put it anywhere near my list of best stuff here because it doesn't come close. It really doesn't.
Yeah,
but there are a couple of great tracks. As I think there's a couple of great tracks, a couple of great performances.
Yeah, look, like I said, I think the first 5 songs are quite good. I think everything after that is mediocre to unlistenable. Like, Jail's good, God Breathes great, Off the Grid's great, Hurricane's great, Praise God's good. And then after that, it's just like, oh wow, they really let him do whatever on this.
Yeah, I mean, he really does go wherever. He does do whatever. I think a couple of the gospel, quote-unquote gospel tracks are kind of engaging. I know that it's literally like the dumbest fucking most basic ass gospel chants you could ever think of, and like there's not a brain cell put into like thinking of an actual scripture, for this, but it's all Kanye's construction, and in the godhood that Kanye has already made himself out to be, courtesy of his fans, certainly in the music industry as a whole. But I do think that he does succeed at least living up to the expectation of what Donda was supposed to. And I think people are just goddamn happy that it's here.
No, I mean, look, he has a pretty voracious fan base, but I mean, look, this isn't even like top 5 Kanye albums, like
probably not. No.
Like it's I don't know. I don't think it's anything special, and I just don't like. Why do we allow this dude who's like slavery is a choice?
Dude, I know.
Bill Cosby's innocent. Trump cares about you more than anyone else. Why do we allow this dude just have such a fucking platform? It kills me.
Yeah. That's a worldwide issue, though, Sam. No, Kanye's a symptom.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just... I mean,
no, I know.
His first look... I mean, Kanye has always been known for, like, his sick beats, his dumb punchlines, and his ability to land features.
What are you talking about, Sam? I talk to God every day. That's my bestie. Come on. You don't love that line?
I don't know, man. I just don't think the jokes land here anymore, man. Like, when you're listening to fucking Yeezus and he says, like, fuck the Chinese bitch, call that sweet and sour. Right? Like, that kind of lands, right? And it helps because the production's awesome. The production of this album's ass, dude.
It is
Kanye's
not the best.
Beats are shadows of their former self.
There's barely, I would even say most of this record, there's barely even a beat.
Exactly.
I mean, this album really does function as more of a gospel or...
No, dude, this album functions as like a glorified puff piece that's like a proof of concept that's very unfinished, hastily thrown together, and had way too much attention paid to it. Like, dude, imagine if, like, fucking, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar released this record, okay? Another incredibly popular mainstream rap with a good discography. He'd get crucified.
Mm-hmm.
And people are only willing to apologize for it because it's Kanye, but this thing is just so utterly unexceptional. It's like slightly below average, like with some bangers. But do you know who else releases slightly below average with some bangers? Fucking DaBaby, fucking Lil Keem, fucking Lil Baby, like fucking Future. Like,
hey, I will say, Lil Baby's verse.
Dude, Lil Baby delivers on this record.
Lil Baby goes off on it. Look, hey, you know what? If they gotta give it one thing, it's the features. Because the features commit.
All outshine Kanye on like every track.
Yes. The features commit and they actively stay, and I like that Fantano pointed this out, they do stay on theme. Because if you go, and I know we're kind of jumping the shark here, but I would also like to talk about Certified Lover Boy. And what a fucking train wreck that record is.
Dude,
far in comparison.
Lover Boy is a lot better than this record.
No, I do disagree, but, like, I don't know, the features on that just, they suck. And Cardi goes off on this record.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's all I care about.
Cardi does go off. Look, the thing about Certified Lover Boy is there's...
Sammy, you forgot to close the door. The door's wide open.
Look, man, Certified Lover Boy, it just... Drake's sound hasn't changed. His features still carry him as they have over the last couple of records. And there's nothing here, man. He raps about being a lesbian. Drake is 34 with kids. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, hear me out, Adam. Like, have you ever listened to a Drake album before?
Yes, I've listened to actually most of them.
Like, this is just like this is infinitely better than Views and infinitely better than Scorpion. Like, you know,
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty much.
I mean, look, as an album, it doesn't work at all because it was never supposed to. But this song has like 5 bangers and 5 sad boy anthems, and those are like some of the better things Drake's done in the past 10 years. I think
I don't know,
the individual quality of the tracks are also a lot higher. Like if you
Dude,
listen,
I don't know. I think honestly, I think a lot of these tracks are really fucking abysmal, dude. Way Too Sexy is the worst song of the year, other than Tramp Stamps and Associated Groups.
I mean, dude, you just hate this sort of thing. Like, it's pop rap.
I mean, yeah, it's pop rap, but like, dude,
I mean, I know, I think
it's the same
Poppy
trap
delivers
beat.
on it, man.
It's the same 3 trap beats recycled for the entire record. The features, for the most part, have no energy. But they're still better than Drake. Wholeheartedly. And the songs that go hard are few and far between. And this is another symptom of the goddamn problem of these rappers releasing fucking... streaming fucking opuses. You know, like... What's the first thing I saw when I opened up my Twitter feed on Friday? You want to guess? It was a Spotify ad for Drake and Certified Lover Boy. Now look, we obviously know that, you know, Spotify and Drake are literally sleeping together. But like, I don't know, man. Like, this was only released because Kanye released. And the only reason Kanye released is because this was going to release. And like, I don't know. Obviously, both of the albums have very similar issues in being too long, too bloated, and just there's not enough good content to really keep a listener engaged all the way. I really do.
This is probably the best Drake album of the past 10 years, though. Like, Adam, this, like, you understand. Sure, it's one note. Sure, it's, you know, pop rap. But, like, this is Drake doing what Drake does better than he's done any time in the recent past. And, like, dude, we'll be hearing these songs for the next 3 years on the radio.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't say that about Donda. Like, just the craft on this, even if you hate Drake as a personality, even if you hate the features, even if you hate the whole sonic pastiche, the craft here is just objectively better.
It is certainly more fleshed out. He is making music on this album, rather than making a statement, for sure. I can agree with.
Certified Lover Boy is honest. Like, granted, I'd never listened to this thing full all the way through ever. It's not meant to do that.
It was
90 minutes long.
It was hard. It was really difficult. I gotta be honest.
But look, man, when the hits pop up, they'll be good and they'll be better than a lot of recent Drake hits.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Well, but see, I understand that because, you know, Drake, he's just a pop star. He's just a pop rap dude who's has more hits than the Beatles, you know, and he's not trying to. With this record, it's not like he's making an artistic statement. He's releasing a singles pack, and half of these will chart. Half these will chart well. With Kanye, he's releasing a statement which feels undervague, half fleshed out, generally boring, and very inconsistent and rushed. And it's from a dude who's like a malicious asshole, and with one of like the most. I don't know. Let's call it.
No, I mean, you're right. He has one of the most toxic relationships with the spotlight that any star has ever.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I'd rather, from an ideological standpoint, I'd rather enjoy, like, middle of, or above average Drake than, like, under half-finished Kanye.
I guess there's fairness to that.
Whatever.
But in other news,
whatever.
We are a metal show after all.
No, we aren't, dude. What do you mean?
That Wolves in the Throne Room album's pretty fucking good, huh?
Yeah, I remember the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, it's just black metal. And then the third time I listened to it, I was like, oh, it's just black metal.
No, like, this is, I think, I did listen to their whole discography after, because I really do think that this record's pretty fucking good.
No, this record's a highlight for theirs.
And in their discography, it is better than the last couple of records. Their first two are obviously, like, just the echelon of the genre. There's no better. There's nothing better, honestly. Like, Two Hunters is insane, and Diadem of 12 Stars is even more insane. And Primordial Arcana really, at least to me, shows their sound that they've been trying to make, like that weird hybrid between folky dungeon synth, black metal, and they really push it to the black metal limit on this album, and it works.
No,
because I feel like with Thrice Woven, there was just a little too much. The old ones are with us. Like, that was great. We all liked that, but this record really pushes it to the full limit, and it really makes it weird. Like, when you go into Spirit of Lightning and you hear that, like, kind of weird droning tone, I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be cringe. But, like, the way they incorporate it later into the track, and they don't take forever to get into the black metal either. It's usually pretty straight on with most of these tracks, which is definitely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They incorporate all the elements super duper well.
No, like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is, like, archetypal, like, American black metal, or atmospheric American black metal by the dudes that pioneered it, you know? And, you know, as metalheads, we're always sort of wondering, oh, should we value innovation over anything, or should we value the old stuff done well? And this is, like, a healthy blend of both, and it's really well done.
I'd say so.
Like, yep, sounds great, performed great, these songs hit.
I mean, yeah, it is by no means the most groundbreaking record, nor, I don't think, the best album of the year. But it is again, another great record.
Yeah, look, man, think about it this way.
brothers.
If Agaloc's second half of their discography wasn't shit, you know?
Who knows?
I'll never understand how Agalock falls off so easily.
I don't. Dude, you have to talk to the bros in the band, dude. It's okay. One of the guitarists just dropped like a really shitty melodic progressive metal album.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
It's called
Not gonna lie, I don't think Pale Folklore is better than Marrow of the Spirit or Serpent of the Sphere. Or Serpent of the Sphere.
You looking on the? Are you looking at the Rate Your Music chart for?
Oh, you bet I am.
Dark folk is their first genre. That's strange. Wait, Marrow of the Spirit better than what, Serpent?
No, dude. I was gonna say Pale Folklore is much worse than both of the
for sure.
late period Agalock.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. That
old
sucks.
heads.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, this is look. Wolves of the Throne. They can deliver. They know what they're doing. They deliver.
They deliver.
It helps that it's performed well and written well.
Yeah.
Serpent Column.
Dude, look, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the hell is in these frickin' random ass. They're from somewhere in America. It's like Maryland or Wisconsin or whatever. What the hell's in your water? What's in your water? Because I want to make black and mathcore with this much ferocity, this production that is just ungodly. And the prolificness of their fucking music. There's just really so much goddamn music. And it's all amazing. Every
Yeah, no, right. It really is ludicrous. Because, like, I remember you at first listening, you're like, oh, it's just a black metal band, right? And then you, like, really dig into it. And, like, the way, like, how these licks are so cyclical, how, like, they're melodic, but they're also scrunky, how, like, they work even without vocals, how, like, the rhythmic interplay is just on another level, how it flows really well, how there's a good balance of more aggressive and melodic. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's it's like ludicrous.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, there's no band like this one. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is like Plebeian Grandstand, and even then, they just do more weird shit with their sound. Serpent Column really just takes the bare fucking bones of mathcore and black metal and just shoves them into this fucking abysmal package. Just absolutely crushing. And the production's so heavy.
Yeah,
like, it's quiet on this record, but like, it's fucking pummeling. It's seriously incredible. This one is already up there for me. Like, even though it's just an EP, and they'll probably release another full fucking album at some point this year, like, the music just speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, seriously, I agree. Definitely a highlight. I remember you texted me, you're like, dude, Serpent Column album. I was like, what?
No, and it dropped on a Saturday. Like, I don't know, man.
Dude, they just don't care. They just do not.
They don't care. Whatever they're doing, I envy it. Oh no, he does. It's one man now. It used to be two.
Wait, really?
Yes, it is now a solo project. Yeah, the other party left.
Yeah, I think their drummer left.
Yeah. Dude, she was a woman.
Shudder.
Based! No, yeah. But very cool. Serpent Column, just amazing. I mean, there's a reason Cathados was in our top 10. Fucking Catharsis will be if fucking anything else isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really good. There's never a shortage of good black metal.
No. Speaking of...
Okay, I'm going to mention this once, and then we can move on. But the Tesseract live album that they dropped is actually surprisingly good.
It is. It is. It's I mean, it's really paying attention to, especially the tracks that are Altered State tracks, got what they deserved.
No, totally.
Because altering those songs to be with Dan instead of being with Ash, I think is really important to making those songs a little bit better and fit a little bit better within the context of their discography. And listening to it, I was like, wow, they are actually changing stuff that matches and makes, its way into kind of convey their more modern sound. I don't know. Yeah. Really well done.
Yeah, no, seriously. And like the way they handle even stuff that's like 10 years old and like updated just a little bit really works well. I think like the updated versions of a lot of like their more boring stuff works really well. And this is a really good set list and it's performed amazingly. Also, I think their drummer left the band. I think Jay left the band.
goes to rate your music to check. I didn't know that. It's interesting.
I didn't either. I just Googled it on YouTube, and there's a video of a YouTuber being like, last year, Tesseract asked me to play this one show for them.
Oh, really?
Did Jay Poststones left the other band? No, he's still in there. I don't know. Maybe he had COVID or something.
Sure. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. This is a Wikipedia article, but there was something about Mortals. For the event, since Poststones chose to stay in Texas due to necessary 2-week isolation.
Oh, so that's fair.
Yeah, he was not available for the performance. So there you go. But yeah, honestly, good for Tesseract. They needed the help.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's great. Like, if you were
they don't need the help, but
if you had told me that I would enjoy a Tesseract live album in 2021, I would spit in your face. But it's actually really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Anything in this similar vein that we can tackle?
Anything like Genty? Definitely not.
No.
Oh, did you listen to their Ginger record?
No.
It's melodic, but darker.
Oh boy. Let's hear. Ginger.
It sounds exactly like the past 3 things they've done. It's Ginger.
Yeah, you know what? I bet. I really bet.
If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I will say, what's weird about them is, like, with a band like Periphery, right? It's a pretty straight up, like, it's melodic metalcore with like progressive metal elements, right?
No, they do switch it up. They're a pretty versatile band. And they're all extremely
I was going to say, the thing about Ginger is it has a groove metal foundation.
Right.
I think that's a lot of the reason why I don't like it.
Well, duh. We cannot listen to a single Machine Head song without wanting to end our lives.
Without projectile vomiting.
No, seriously. Like, yeah, no. I mean, it totally makes sense. That's also why I can't like something like Modern Sepultura. It's just that.
Or the new Gojira record.
Or the new Gojira record.
Because it's just shitty groove metal. Like, whoever convinced society that like groove metal was like a listenable genre of music.
Not good.
Shame
Shame
on you.
Shame on you. All right. Well, I guess we can start getting into the more underground stuff. Have you listened to the new Fleury Storars album? It is not on your.
What do I look? Well, that's because the songs are 30 minutes long.
There are only 3 of them on the record.
Well, it's funny because I saw the AMG article and AMG was like 2.5. I was like, "There's no way."
It was a 3. It was a 3, and I was like. I didn't read it first. I had to listen, and I'm sorry. The record's fucking amazing.
Yeah, what the heck? Like
it's like one of the best records of the year. No,
I don't understand. Like, they just don't miss. They're like one of those groups where like every time you hear them, you're like, oh, it's gonna be Flea Stars. Then you hear it, and you're like, oh, It's Fleury. Like,
Yeah.
ever since, we heard their song from
They
Day
ordered.
and then went back and, like, listened to Loot and Dromars and even Blown. Like, Jesus Christ, it's just, like, the best atmospheric black metal around.
Yeah, they're just so good at making that mixture between actual, like, pagan folk aesthetics with their atmosphere and the black metal, the happy melodic, whatever the fucking black metal you want to call it. Like, their sound is so unique. It's constantly pushing. Like, these epic songs are just so well crafted. Everyone has an amazing build up to it. The performances are incredible. Like, and the vibe is just all there the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
You're never taken out.
I really appreciate how this record's a little different in the sense, like, Bloom was very, like, finished,
Yeah.
It has, like, the nice sheen, has, like, the horn and whatnot. And whereas this record, it's fucking dirty. Like, apparently they improv'd a lot on it. I love the tribal stuff. It doesn't feel like quiche. It feels very natural. Sort of getting at, like, that first wave of dungeon synth,
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's gorgeous. It's really well done. I'll listen to this record like 30 times, and every time I'll be like, yeah.
No, seriously, like, I like, this made it onto my Topster, and, like, I've listened to, like, it's above Infinity Land, which is pretty damn impressive, because those songs are, like, 3 minutes long, and I listen to that album all the time. But I listen to this album more. It really is just so intense. The band just fully delivers. It's the full push of their sound. You're not getting any of that, like, weird, windy shit from Bloem that, we love, don't get us wrong, but, like, this is just black metal, balls to the walls. And with their aesthetic, it's just...
yeah, it's really well done. I agree. I mean, there's no ending of good black metal.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, we could just go through the black market list, because I've listened to most of them. But the one that stood out to me that I've been cranking is the Sigil record.
Yeah, dude, wicked good.
Oh,
I've only
God.
listened to it a couple of times.
I remember when I was like, what is this? And it really is like black metal, sludge metal, and metalcore.
Yeah,
like it's so crazy. Like the riffs sound like artificial brain, like it's nuts.
Well, the way that they can really just make all of the sounds work in such conjunction, whereas, like, it's not like they're transitioning out of black metal and into metalcore, or out of sludge metal and into anything else. It's all in there. It's everywhere. The guitar lines are doing one thing, the drums are doing another, the other guitar line's doing another thing, the vocalist is doing his own fucking thing. Like, it's just, there's so much going on, and it's all working.
Yeah, I was not normally when you go through the black market and you go through, it's like, okay, this is a record I'll need to listen to 10 times before I enjoy it. Because, like, something like Skepticism's new record isn't exactly easy listening. But this record this Sigil record slaps. I'm a very big fan. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to highlight any others, I'm fine. I just don't want to, like, go through the entire article.
Yeah, no, I totally feel you. I've been honestly, alright, this Jamak record, this little demo from this random ass Belarus black metal band, I fucking love it. I think it's so much fun. It's 13 minutes of, like, these wicked short form, like, raw black metal tracks. And it's the number 10 on that.
Yeah, no, I see it right now.
The black market. And honestly, like, it's just so much fun. Like, the first track is an hour and 47 minutes, and it has obviously the root of, like, this kind of, like, really lo-fi raw dungeon synth and black metal tone. But there's, like, surf punk in there. There's, like, all these weird influences. Like, the first half of the demo is, like, kind of light, and then the second half gets really black metal. And it just kind of sounds like the way they use their effects on their guitars. Like, I don't know, listen to the first track. It sounds like you're listening to, like, an alt song. There's really nice upward melodic progression going into a major chord. Like, it's really happy, and then it just dips right back, and it's super lo-fi, which just makes the whole thing just, like, a little sillier for whatever reason. Like, it really just, I don't know, it's just like a banger. The whole record is just, it's so funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, honestly. Not as funny as the new Iron Maiden record.
Stop. Stop, man. I had to play Writing on the Wall on my show last week, and I regretted it. And I've listened to the full album, but like, man,
it seems to be pretty weak.
Not for me. I obviously understand the love for Iron Maiden. I understand the love given to their new sound, their progressive sound, as the band has put it. They are a changing beast. They do not pigeonhole themselves anywhere. But like, I don't know, man. Like it's just Iron Maiden.
Yeah, like, that's fair. Well, I mean, this is their worst scored record since since Blaze Bayley.
Yeah. There you go. Can't you see the writing on the wall, Sam?
No, gosh, please, stop.
It's I don't know, man. It's good for them. Good for Iron Maiden making more money.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's still. I think I bitched about this at some point, but there's still something that rubs me the wrong way of them.
Oh no, there's absolutely something that should rub you the wrong way.
Senjutsu, and it features Eddie in samurai clothing and like this very kitschy like just Japanese.
There's Japanese writing on the like. Oh
yeah, and like we know for a fact. Bruce Dickinson's a Tory. Most of the bands are Tories, and like it just feels wrong. Like these dudes like actively dislike, immigrants and brown people. And like, what if we name our record Senjutsu and have a samurai on the cover? It just feels wrong.
Yeah, it does feel wrong.
I know it's a little cucked, but
it's not cucked. Like it's 2021.
Yeah.
Like when was the last time they pulled something like this on a cover?
I don't think they've actually ever done like anything that's like kind of culturally appropriate.
Exactly. Like, why now?
Actually, I guess Power Slave.
Yeah, but even that, like, that was their aesthetic, though.
I gotcha.
Like, at least that one, like, I mean, I guess you are right. It is a little culturally appropriate.
Yeah, but it's also like ancient.
1984. Egypt. It's ancient Egypt, and like, yeah, that is certainly past the fucking copyright date, okay? But there is certainly some undertones in the cover. And the name. And likely the rest of the record.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of tasteless. Like, and also the Iron Maiden, like they have how is it that like the last like 4 Iron Maiden arts are so bad? Like they're literally like one of the biggest metal bands in the world or of all time.
The first review on Radio Music says it's the worst album of their career.
Oof.
I will say, I gotta give it to them for 3 10-plus minute long songs at the close.
I guess I respect it.
Good for them. But, no. Nope. Bye. I do not want to listen to an hour and a half by Iron Maiden.
Yep, well, I guess it's unfortunate. I knew even Mew normally spits the worst takes to be contrarian, and even Mew didn't like this album, so I was like, oh.
Oh, actually, I have one thing to go back to before we talk about other metal things.
I was going to mention the Halsey record because I listened to it.
Yeah. I was going to talk about Halsey, but I want to talk about a little more thing. But yeah, go on Halsey.
Oh yeah, so I listened to a decent amount of Nin this week. I finally dug into the Fragile. I know.
Whoa.
And dude, I don't know, Nin slap. Like, those first few records and even some of the later stuff. Like, I think there are definitely highlights.
For sure. I mean, great. Trent. It's not like Trent's gotten again. He hasn't become a worse musician or person, at least seemingly over his career.
I mean, he still got it, and like all those, like, man, I listened to Pretty Hate Machine on a long drive, and I was like, how is this so like, I don't know, it's very of its time, but it's great. Mm-hmm. I don't care if some of the lyrics are incredibly cringy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was Trent's raw emotion. He was like 25.
Yeah, no, I get it, and Broken Bass, Downward Spiral, like the best album of the 90s. Fragile's great.
Absolutely.
With the Teeth is okay, but it has some bangers.
Yeah, it does.
And then basically every album after that ranges the gamut from like okay to pretty good, but they all have highlights.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, Nin are great, and so I was like, oh, Halsey produced Nin, let's check it out. And I don't know. I think it's well done for the most part. I gotta understand that I'm just not a Halsey fan, and that I probably just won't enjoy that style of music ever. I think what Trent and Atticus do texturally and like on the production and things is pretty clever. You know, there are a lot of like the signature '90s nin like soft piano parts. There are a lot of like abrasive synths, some subtle strings throughout, and the whole record's fairly varied. If I had, one major qualm, or any major qualm, it'd be that Halsey's lyrics and vocal performances can be a little eh. I mean, she's clearly a very talented vocalist. She clearly knows how to write a pop hook, how to perform a pop hook, and I think there's like a sort of novelty for the way that she throws it onto this more experimental sonic aesthetic. But I don't know, especially for me, like I watched a pretty long interview she did with Trent and Atticus. I watched an interview she did for Apple TV to prepare it for this record. And from the way she describes it, you'd think it was like this ridiculous, like life-changing experience. And then the lyrics are just like super direct, and it takes me out of it. I think it's a good record. It's fine. I think Halsey's clearly a talented vocalist and knows what she's doing. And Trent and Atticus are great on production. In fact, it's probably the best Halsey record as far as I'm concerned, but certainly the pop veneer on the vocals and like some of the more like direct and frankly dumb lyrics aren't for me.
I guess that's kind of just the pastiche that I've thought about Halsey for a little while. She is also a pop star, so take with that what you will. Halsey, yeah, she is a pop star, but like, you gotta take that stuff where you can get it. And like, I'm happy that, from the singles at least that I've listened to, that Trent and Atticus did a good job.
Yeah, no, I mean the production's pretty immaculate, and even suits her voice fairly well. I agree. I don't know, it has a lot of those pop moments where I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Look, if you're into this sort of thing, if you like Halsey, chances are you like this. It's a little, I don't know.
It's just pop, man. It's pop.
Yeah. Yes,
pop.
Sir. What do you want to talk about aside from Halsey?
Dude. It's actually about an upcoming record, but I would like to mention it as we got a second single a couple of days ago.
Oh, dude, new Full of Hell's coming up. New Arcs Fire's coming up.
New Full of Hell. We got New Full of Hell. We got New Arcs Fire. We've got New Frontier. They dropped another track too, I think. And dude, honestly, the record I'm most excited for this year, other than those ones, this new Injury Reserve album is going to be insane.
Really?
I'm honestly so fucking excited. I think the singles are like some of the best non-Death Grips experimental hip hop we've got. I think little derivative.
I'm excited for the new Peggy.
I'm excited for the new Peggy too.
See him live. Damn, Peggy.
Yeah, gonna be. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Injury Reserve record when
That's
it drops.
fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever talked about it formally, but this Backwatch record's amazing.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Backwatch is pretty good. Not my favorite aesthetic in music, but for what it is, I can.
What it is like this record just feels like very like visceral, and she's able to like combine. Excuse me. Sort of the disparate threads a lot better on this. Like, it doesn't feel like Kishi or even like trap mentally. Sure. It feels like something that's very like dark and visceral and very hers, and I don't know, very powerful.
Did you hear
the new?
Have you heard the new the new Fawn Limbs album?
What, they dropped a new album?
Yeah, it's a spoken word driven avant sludge record.
Oh, Darwin Falls.
Yeah.
I saw it. I've yet to listen to it.
It's pretty fucking good.
I'm not surprised.
I do think that their last one is a little bit better. I just think it's a little more consistent. And because like the spoken word is heavy on this one. Like there is a story, there is a theme. Darwin Falls is a concept album in all respects. And like you do have to realize you're getting into, that kind of trip, because the spoken, like if you can't handle at least somewhat well performed spoken word, like you're gonna be out. But I guess if you're listening to this album, you're probably pretty deep in there. So
yeah, that's fair.
Seriously, I think it's pretty darn good. I would definitely give it a listen if you haven't. Pretty cool. And they do bounce between all their styles and sounds.
Bounce.
Hey, that album turned 20. You know what? Oh my, dude. Pretty great fucking record.
Still hits, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. No, can you remember going back to when you're like 15 and hearing this album and being like, yeah, it's pretty okay. Like, Toxicity's pretty good. And then like you go back and you listen when you're like 22, 23, and you're like, this is the best new metal. This is the best alt metal. There's nothing better than this. You can't get any better than this.
Successful drug policy shows that treatment should be increased. In law enforcement,
could you based in 2000?
Dude, utterly like Jet Pilot. Wires were the eyes of the horse on the jet pilot.
No, it's kind of insane, this band. I know we've talked about it before on here, but like now that it's like actually 20, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, dude. Pushing little children with their automatics, like what? No, I mean I agree. It's utterly based, and like Jesus, like I was expecting to listen to this and be like, oh, it hasn't aged that well or whatever. But no, dude, man.
It has aged great. Production still holds up. The performances are all incredible. What happened,
dude?
What happened?
Yeah, right. It's like it's crazy too because you know you listen to like other stuff from like this period and it's just like the most dated shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You like look, Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water is one of my most listened to albums of all time. But like that has not aged at all, like well at all. Like it sounds so much like it's from the year 2000. Whereas you listen to this and it just feels it's so visceral, it's modern. Rick Rubin surprisingly does a good job on production. The lyrics are awesome. The performances are awesome. It's
you'd never expect such a thing. Hey, in the same vein, we can also talk about literally everyone's favorite record of all time, Jane Doe. 20, like 2 days ago or whatever the fuck
I know,
it was.
I'm actually doing a presentation on it for my popular music class.
Hell yeah. As you should.
Well, I was like, I gotta educate the normies about some heavy album. And I was like, it's Jane Doe's 20th anniversary. We're in New England. Might as well.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, Jane Doe's also an amazing album that has aged very well.
Yeah. Converge is still just, like, you know, the best.
Yeah, and, I mean, like, that, Jesus Christ, like, that art design is just so ubiquitous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't be on the internet and not know what Jane Doe is. Well, not be in the internet music scene and not know what Jane Doe
totally.
is. Even if you just see it in passing, like, because it's so high on the like Forever chart, the like worldwide, or like the best albums ever chart on RYM, but like it is almost definitely one of the like it's number 306. So if you're just a normie scrolling through here, like, yeah, Daughters is ahead of it, but like, Daughter living out there, shush, get out of here. Like, that record is above Anima by Tool. It's above, like, fucking Blackwater Park. Mm-hmm. It's above fucking Thriller. You know? So, like, I don't know. I just think that the way that Jane Doe has been able to absolutely just tear its way through the internet.
Yeah, I know it's ludicrous. And it's funny because, like, I don't even think it's the best Converge record. Like, it's a really good record, don't get me wrong, but, like, hell, can you beat, like, You Fail Me or, like, Axe to Fall or Dusk in Us?
In terms of pure, like, what Converge is as a band, no. But, I mean, obviously, just the beast that is Jane Doe is so unforgettable. And I think that, you know, someone else could have made Converge, like, in an alternate universe, or someone else could have made Jane Doe in an alternate universe that's just not Converge and continued with this path, and sure, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah.
But, like, for Converge being able to make this record, and then fucking follow it up with You Family, honestly. Like, goddamn.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a reason that
nuts.
I mean, like, at Jane Doe to The Dusk in Us, every album is bolded on RYM except for No Heroes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, fucking Converge.
And this album put them on the map, or, well, put them on the global map.
Yes.
And they're legends, like, I mean, Kurtz does everything. Nate and Fan in a Million Bands. Jacob still does design, and like that logo's, jeez, man.
Unforgettable.
Yeah, I don't know. Based. It's crazy that like 2001 was so good for like popular metal.
Big year.
Also,
Big
also Ladder Alice. That also holds
up.
Ladder
Alice. Yep.
And Blackwater Park.
There you go. Big four. All right. I got some more recent stuff to talk about if you do.
I don't know.
Well.
I don't really have much. I mean, I could like go through like what I've actually been listening to and like be like, oh, have you heard the new Lucy Dacus album? But
true,
nothing.
All right,
like...
I guess I will talk about one thing because I think it has relevance within our channel. So remember that album that I sent you like last week that you probably did not listen to? That was like it's the like super dense atmospheric black / drone album.
Like every record.
Well, no. So there's a new project called Seoul Kia. Yep, Seoul Kia.
That's a good
name. You can make your jokes, but as in Sun Kia, SOL Kia. And it's a 2-piece from Belgium who makes this very interesting blend of atmospheric black metal with drone. And I don't know, put on a track, listen to it. I don't really know how to describe it, but the only reason I bring it up, this just came out this Friday, is because one of the members, the core members behind it, is the guy from Neptunian Maximalism.
Oh, really? Oh, yep. Yeah. Didn't Invisible Orange just do a piece on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Orno Clean. I don't know. I saw one of the guys do it on it.
But yeah, no, it's pretty freaking good, I'd say. I mean, like, you know, you kind of have to get past the very fucking outer space production and like get used to like it's really fucking strange. Like the first song is 4 minutes, then second is 11. Like then there's a 1 minute track. I don't know, man. Like this is the record of the year that's like Eons that I'm just gonna have to listen to over and over until I still don't fucking understand what's going on, and try to make sense of it.
That's fair.
And it's pretty incredible that Solar Drone Ceremony also came out this year, and then this random ass fucking dense black metal project.
That is funny.
So yeah, I don't know. Check that one out. It's pretty good. There's a couple of awesome other metal albums, but yeah, we can get into that at a later point. Yeah, no. I guess that's most of the bigger stuff. I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. We could talk about like dumb shit for a while, but I think that covers it for the most part.
It covers a lot of the music. Yeah. Is there anything bad that came out? Oh, you know, Billie Eilish sucks. Billie Eilish sucks.
Yeah, the new Billie Eilish is not great. Not gonna lie.
It is not good. Is there anything else that we should mention? I'm gonna quickly just take a scroll through the RYM chart.
Did you see the Glory Hammer stuff?
The what?
Glory Hammer stuff.
No, what happened with Glory?
so one of the members got kicked out, and he was like, I don't know why he got kicked out, and then he leaked group chats of the band. Okay. And there was just them like saying the N-word, not just like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, like calling yeah, that happened. Glory Hammer over. A bunch of people
got it.
A bunch of people got COVID. Corey Taylor got COVID, dude. Jonathan Davis got COVID, dude. Kid Rock got COVID.
I heard Kid Rock got COVID. That one I was informed of. Dude, look, man. You're you put yourself in a place where you're gonna get COVID. And if you're not vaccinated, you're gonna get COVID. It's gonna happen. And for those who still got vaxxed and got COVID, that is understandable, as they're traveling musicians. They are going to different parts of the country and seeing many different people who have very different and diverse backgrounds. I understand. But don't be a bitch like Kid Rock and make a big fucking fuss about it because you don't wear a mask. and you actively are anti-vaccine. So I don't want to hear it from you.
No, it's kind of funny, honestly. It's funny because you look at a band like BT Bam, and these guys have done 3,000 people shows for the past month and haven't canceled a single one. Not a single person's got COVID. Like if you're taking the right precautions, it's totally possible. And fuck, I've been to 4 house shows in the past month where everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah, you feel great.
Yeah,
no problems. Man,
I don't know. We could talk about the thing is, I don't even think there's really anything newsworthy aside from bad I don't know. It's just the dumbest stuff, man.
Yeah, no, it's all pretty fun. I mean, it's not like the summer has been too intense for metal news.
Well, I mean, there's there's a lot of albums that got announced, like Zealand Order, Poppy, Vajrda. But I mean, I don't know. None of this is newsworthy. It's not like we had well, I don't know. I guess depending on how much you care, there are some pretty big things that happen. But
what do you mean?
There was a pretty notable death.
Notable death.
Yeah, the vocalist for he was Skeleton, a few other bands. We'd never listened to anything he's ever done, but apparently he's pretty big. Oh, do you know what song sucks?
Oh God, which song?
That New Rollo Tomasi.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah, I've never been more disappointed by a lead single in my life.
Yeah, no, that one is really not good. If Rollo Tomasi is listening to this podcast, I mean, hopefully they are. We did give them our second best album of 2018. What? Huh?
What?
Why? Why was this the direction?
Yeah, no, I
agree. Who gave you... Was this E1? If so, leave. We'll spread the word.
Why would they drop, Mediocre Gent in 2021? This is, their past few albums feel so, forward thinking.
They're Time Will Die and Love Will Bury It opened my eyes to what fucking mathcore, post-hardcore, what all that could be. And it's awful. It's trash.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very disappointing.
It's so disappointing. Man, I don't know, man. When this is, you know what their tags on fucking RYM are? Mathcore, post-hardcore, sasscore, hardcore punk, cyber grind, and progressive rock. Now look, I think a bunch of those are bullshit, but when you're getting pegged as all these different fucking things, you clearly have better things going on than this. What does this single have? And you know what's weird? This single has a 3.63 on RYM.
Dude,
you know what Cloaked? You know what Bouncing in the Dark has?
What?
A 3.06.
Bro, what? Well, RYM's not reliable for smaller stuff like that.
Absolutely not. But
yeah, no, Jesus Christ, I've never been more disappointed. Now, the New Zealand Order actually slaps. I'm very excited for the record. It'll probably be good.
Yeah. I am also...
Also, yeah, new Archbar tracks, both awesome. The new Full of Hell stuff's awesome. They're playing math grind now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk about... I sent you Metal by the Numbers, and if you look at
I did open Metal by the Numbers.
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah. Hey, I wonder what we talked about. There they are.
Yeah, I had no idea Def Heaven sold that much.
Dude, they're Def Heaven. What do you even mean?
Well, dude, they literally were number 7.
Yeah, I understand. Even Between the Buried and Me was number 13.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, actually. I think that's really good. And I had no idea Wolves in the Throne Room were so big.
Hey, they're the American black metal now. Well, kind of always been, but yeah. No, Oh my god! Oh, actually, I have something. I'm an active part of a theater community, and the only reason I bring this up is because I met someone recently, and this is related, I promise. I met someone recently at one of my theater events that asked me a similar query as to someone who asked me about idols, except this one was why do you think that Led Zeppelin is better than Greta Van Fleet? I was asked this question. I was. And I don't know what the fan base of Greta Van Fleet would like to defend themselves with, because the argument that this person gave, and they proclaim themselves to be a pretty big fan of the band, they seriously said that Led Zeppelin was just old. And that the music itself sounded too old for them. And look, I don't want to hate on the Greta Van Fleet fans. I don't. Because they've gotten enough of it. But seriously, if you're going to come at the band that is literally what your band is ripping off, just, like, listen to one of the songs. Any one. You can even listen to Stairway to Heaven. And that's a stolen song.
Sounds like a bad critique. I don't know. I think Zeppelin are a little overloved, but...
I think Zeppelin are very overloved.
Sounds like a zoomer. They've probably listened to 3 artists in their whole life. Pitbull, Eminem, and Greta Van Fleet.
The only reason I mention is because their most recent record is still charting well. Which is very unfortunate, to me, at least. Whatever. You know, people can enjoy the music they like, but I don't know. Also, Sam is currently frozen for me, which is always...
Oh, Adam returned.
Oh, you returned as well, so we'll have to figure that out in post. But no worries about that. It probably is. Greta Van Fleet, still climbing on the charts. It shouldn't. It's poop. I'm sorry. Like, the music is literally...
I don't know, man. They have an audience.
Yes, they have an audience. They do. Good for them. Good for them as musicians.
It's brutal out here.
It's brutal.
Okay, it's not gonna lie.
Oh, I would like to talk a little bit about Grammys again. Now that you mentioned Mr. Rodrigo, and
sure.
Because I think that we're stuck at a crossroads at this point, because the 4 biggest albums of the year I think have come out. It's Donda, Certified Lover Boy, whatever the fuck the Billy one is that I don't care to remember, and Sour.
Well, actually, I mean, Doja Cat's album's pretty huge, and so is Tyler's.
That's fair. I forgot about Tyler. I do think that because of Donda and Certified Lover Boy being only as good as they are, I think that it kind of cements one of the women to win.
Well, dude, okay, it cements one of the... Look,
I'm just predicting.
Well, no,
I'm making a prediction.
We talked about this before, dude. The Grammys are a bunch of like elderly white dudes, and there's a reason why attractive young girls win every sweep every Grammy.
No,
Taylor Swift,
absolutely.
Adele. Before that, previous generation, whatever. It'll probably, I don't know. Olivia Rodrigo will probably get like 15 Grammys because she's young and attractive.
Yeah. I hope. Part of me hopes that the Academy, and obviously this is putting far too much faith in the Academy, but my hope is that the Academy can understand that the Billie Eilish record is not very good. I hope. We pray, because I don't think it's very good. But I also don't think Sour is all that.
I think of the records that have sold the most, probably Call If You Get Lost is probably the best. I think Sour is quite good. I think
I think Sour is good for what it is. I can't listen to those songs anymore. I'm done. I've had my fill of Olivia, but she did make an impact, and she Adam, obviously will be for.
When are you gonna tell her that we did that too? Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm cementing it in stone. Olivia's gonna get best of the year.
Yeah,
and it sucks.
I'd bet money on that, honestly. I mean, look, as far as like utterly mainstream albums go, one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone again.
I am still here for yourself, so I can hear Sam, but I don't think he can hear me. That's okay. He's just kind of hanging. So I guess I can go through a couple more of these awesome, cool albums like this. I've never heard of a couple of these debuts that it came out last week. But we also got like the Beartooth and the Slaughter to Prevail records, which are still being on the charts. I didn't know Paul McCartney dropped a new album. Did you know Paul McCartney dropped a new album?
Unfortunately.
It looks good. Just the cover is garbage. Fortitude still on the chart. King Woman doing okay. Gate Creeper doing very okay. Fiddlehead, Dark Throne, Baby Metal, Liquid Tension. That's about right. Dude, I don't know what else. There's not much left, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we covered it for the most part. I mean, maybe we'll even talk about Pale Communion next week.
Maybe we will. That would be wow. Hey, you know, it's alright. It's okay to take a break. We've done a lot. We listened to a lot of Opeth, okay?
And to be fair, when you get to the late period Opeth, it gets hard to continue on. Look, I love Opeth. I literally got an Opeth tattoo, okay, in the time since the last one. It is a Ghost Reveries candelabra. It is on my leg right now. I'm looking at it. And I still don't want to listen to those last, pre-Incauda Venom 3 records.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, I guess there's a couple of records coming out next week. Horde is dropping a new album. Andrew WK has his new album coming out on Friday. War has a live album coming out. Metallica's Black Album is being reissued, re-released. Obviously, that's a big one because there is also the Blacklist, which comes out this Friday, which is going to be really interesting to hear the rest of the covers on that one.
Jesus. You gotta fix your Wi-Fi next time we podcast.
Oh, see, it sounds great for me. Hopefully, the recordings will come out fine.
Yeah, no, I think that's all. Dawn is not a 7. Fuck you, Fitz.
Yeah, no, Dawn is not a 7. It's like a 6.
It's like a 4.
I would go with 6. I enjoyed my time listening.
We have to grid. This is for my kids. Okay, not gonna lie, dude. Cardi
goes insane on Off the Grid, dude. He's got the call-outs in the background, and his verse is just fire.
Dude, I mean, okay, I don't even, like, is it cringe to want to see Cardi when he comes here, dude?
No, I don't think so.
Going?
Dude, I might go. I might even go to a Playboy Cardi show. That might
got tats on my ribs. Tattoos on my ribs. I just tatted my kid.
I honestly might have to go back and listen to a whole lot of Red, because seriously, he just brings the fucking energy on that track. On Off the Grid specifically. So with this context, with this newfound appreciation for Cardi, I may double back and learn to appreciate a whole lot of Red. Well, I don't know. I just Cardi was good before to me, but it didn't click. Maybe now, it has finally clicked.
Look, man, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, it's in December.
Ever since my brother died, I've been thinking about homicide. No, dude, it's not even funny how many times I've listened to a whole lot of Red.
How much are these tickets for a whole lot? Oh my! That's a lot.
What?
But, Playboy Cardi, Kanye West, forever.
75 for floor tickets? Oh my god. Dude, I'm in college, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about all. Next week, maybe we'll talk about Opeth. Maybe we'll talk about...
Oh, actually, hold on. I have one more thing pop culture-wise.
Oh, sure.
Can I say for both of us that we stand the Lil Nas X Montero cover? I think it's a pretty good meme.
Dude. I'm honestly excited for that.
I'm wicked excited for the Lil Nas X.
I just wrote a paper for one of my classes on how Lil Nas X transcends connectivity in modern media. I don't know. He's great. He's an icon, man.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be a great record.
Great. Montero, Call Me by Your Name. And dude, Industry Baby. Oh.
No, Industry, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's, I mean, he's got a great team behind him, and he's a great vocalist, and,
he's just a fucking star.
Yeah, he's a star. He's an icon. But, I don't know. That's all. I just felt like I had to get that in there. It has been a while. There's a lot has happened.
Will the baby make a comeback?
I do not want to see the baby make a comeback. I think Jail 2 should have been left off the album. Although I will say, I think it's the best performance DaBaby has given to my ears is on Jail 2.
He didn't just do the thing where he does the triplet and like with ad-libs.
No. I mean, like, you have to kind of be like, oh, this isn't the actual jail, because it's... Well, I'm going to keep talking, but the thing that, I don't know, when you're covering over Jay-Z's verse with the DaBaby instead of Jay-Z, like, there's an expectation, and I don't think he performs anywhere near to Jay-Z's level, but I will say he gives more energy than he does in pretty much all of his features ever on that one. Dude, this is so strange. But that's okay. We'll slice it together. I will slice this all together in post. Don't you worry, Sam.
Dude, couple Grammys on him. Couple racks A.
Couple Grammys on him. Couple racks A. All right, let's kill this while it's still alive.
All right, I've been Sam.
I'm Adam.
PM Metal Guide.